Today, we're diving into an incredible story about how a single educational pilot project evolved into a full-blown digital superhighway. We're talking about Pakistan's Chromebook revolution. Let's get into it.
So let's start with the central question, a massive one, really. How on earth do you transform the way 500,000 students learn, especially when a crisis forces your hand? Well, that was the exact challenge on the table.
All right, so to really get this, we need to set the stage. What was the exact problem they were up against?
Well, the big catalyst here was COVID-19. As schools all over Pakistan had to close their doors, it threw this huge, harsh spotlight on the digital divide. Some kids had access, tons didn't. And the Ministry of Federal Education knew they needed a real, sustainable solution, and fast.
Okay, so you've got this massive nationwide challenge. What's the answer? It all came down to picking the right tool for the job. And here it is. The solution they landed on was this lightweight, cloud-first laptop, the Google Chromebook. This was going to be the device to help bridge that digital gap. But why Chromebooks specifically? I mean, there are other options out there, right? Well, this decision was incredibly strategic. First off, they're affordable, which is absolutely critical when you're talking about a public sector project this big. They're also super easy to use, so teachers and students can get up and running without a huge learning curve. Plus, they're secure right out of the box. And honestly, for the IT folks, this last point is the real game changer. You can manage thousands of them from a single, simple dashboard. And check this out, because this table really tells the story. This isn't just our opinion. This comes straight from the Federal Directorate of Education's own report. You can see it clear as day. Chromebooks scored 5 stars across the board on the things that matter most for a huge school deployment: cost, IT management, security, and durability. I mean, looking at the data, it was a pretty clear choice. Now, a project this huge, you don't just flip a switch and make it happen. No way. You have to start small, you test the waters, and you prove the concept works. And believe it or not, this whole thing kicked off with just 45 Chromebooks in an initial pilot project they called Albus. And you know, this tiny test, it was absolutely crucial. It gave them a real-world peek into how these devices would actually perform in a Pakistani classroom. They learned so much about collaboration, about the challenges of sharing, all that good stuff before they even thought about scaling up. Okay, so that first little test was a big success. So what's next? You scale up, but you do it smartly. The next phase was way bigger, procuring 1,000 Chromebooks for 100 different school labs, and made it way faster and cheaper to get these devices into the hands of students. All right, the pilots worked. The concept was proven. It was time to go big. Time for the main event, the massive, full-scale deployment. So the project just exploded. We're talking a deployment of over 25,000 Chromebooks, which went out to more than 450 schools, ultimately impacting the education of over 500,000 students. I mean, just think about that jump. From a tiny test of 45 devices to this, it's a massive system-wide transformation. But hold on, the story doesn't stop there. This whole initiative was built to last, with a clear vision for the future. So what's next on the roadmap? It's a really clear 3-part plan. First, expand the reach even further, getting another 1,000 devices out to rural and low-tech schools. Second, they're upgrading the software for over 200,000 users to unlock even more powerful tools. And third, and this might be the most important part, they're empowering the teachers with on-the-ground training to make sure this tech makes a real impact. And of course, none of this happens in a vacuum, right? What's really driving this next chapter is a solid partnership between the public sector, the Ministry of Education, and private Google for Education partners, who bring all that technical know-how to the table. It's a perfect match. Okay, so let's zoom out. What's the big takeaway here? What does this all mean for the country as a whole? You know, this quote from the official report just nails it. This isn't just a success story for Islamabad. The whole point is that it's designed to be a blueprint, a model that other education departments all across Pakistan can pick up and run with. And that really is the heart of it all. This project proves that high-quality, tech-powered public education isn't some far-off dream. It's actually achievable right now on a massive scale, and it can serve as a template for others facing the same kinds of challenges. So it leaves us with one final big question to think about. When you combine affordable technology, smart, small-scale pilots, and strategic partnerships, are we seeing the future of public education taking shape? Not just for Pakistan, but maybe for the whole world.